No, I won't. I'm just gonna introduce these players. In the bottom right, up to 1, it's the blue Protoss, Drogo.
And up in the top left, the Jedi Mastermind, the red Protoss. Give it up for Neeb.
He's like Anakin, alright? He betrayed us all. You were the chosen one!
He is red. He is red. That is the color of the Sith.
You're supposed to balance the race balance, not destroy it!
Well, in a sense, he kind of was balancing the race stuff by using one of the dirtiest Protoss tricks. And this is coming from a Protoss player. One of the dirtiest Protoss tricks in the book on another Protoss. That is, in a sense, balancing the scales.
It's like Sith versus Sith right now. Ugh.
Those were really cool storylines, though. I always enjoyed the Sith versus Sith stuff, but we got a Nexus first coming out from Neeb, which it's not crazy, but definitely is showing a slightly greedier version of the opening.
Yeah, I mean, Drogo's not exactly doing a 1 base right now, so he's gonna get away with it. But he's at least getting, you know, not Cybernetics Core, then Nexus. At least that was Gateway 7. Or Gateway Nexus. Both gonna scout, because why not? You have a lot of time to scout PvP, especially with the builds they chose.
Absolutely. And definitely makes sense for Neeb. He wants to get a scout off after saying, hey, I'm going to go Nexus first, and let me make sure you're not about to 1 base all in me so I can know where to start cutting workers and start making some more extra units. But this map, Prime Terraces, it's a funny map. It's a map that is got a lot of gold expansions, and that can make things a little bit strange. Although I think in PvP it's less strange just because Protoss tend to rely more on gas rather than on mineral income for a lot of their openings and a lot of their builds. So tends to not revolve so much around the gold minerals as much as it does just around gas geysers.
Yeah, I think it's a big difference. You know, in TVT, that gold base can less so be a focus of the TVT, and more so if you get it, you just start to skyrocket ahead. But still, the point is, like, that's marine based for the most part. Of course, tanks and medevacs are important too. But Protoss always been more about that gas. It's all about that gas. Even if adepts don't cost that much and war prisms cost no gas at all. What?
Yep, Terran's all about that salt. Sorry, I'm kidding. Let's not get into this.
Oh, you don't have to say you're kidding. It's absolutely true.
Start getting started over here for PtitDrogo. So, if this was the game where Neeb decided to go for Phoenix with a Stargate opening, this would have worked out great. But unfortunately for him, this is the game that he's gonna just continue to crank out a couple of these gateway units. But you know, I'm actually a big fan of the Stalker openings that Neeb has been going for, because they really do handle the Stargate openings so much better by having some of those Stalkers ready and available to deal with any kind of Oracles. Like, if you imagine that last game where the Oracles are coming in and there's 2 Oracles and he runs out of Fortune Overcharge, suddenly a lot of Pros players would just kind of cave in that situation and say, oh, all I have left are Adepts. We'll run my probes around, ring around the rosy, and hope I don't lose too many. But no, Neeb had a bunch of Stalkers ready in the mineral line and ready to defend.
Yeah. It was a very good defense, and he does have his militia core in the main, and whoopsie, whoa, what happened to the mouse? Oh, the mouse drag. And stalkers in that natural. The one stalker out here is going to get pounced upon by the adepts. That was just sacrificial. Oh, poor buddy. And not really doing a whole lot. But these adepts might be able to see, able to warn this oracle from actually trying to do very much, to be honest. Or they might try and distract and get all of Neeb's units in one position.
Yeah, this is, again, the problem with Stalkers, is they do not kill Adepts very quickly, but he does manage to kill one of them, which is a pretty nice win. Already throwing down a Photon Overcharge, trying to deal with these Adepts, but PtitDrogo, I guess, mostly just using it as a scout for now.
Yeah, he really wants to get these Stalkers to chase the Adepts one of these games, but it's just not working. This Oracle gets 2 kills and flies right out, and the Adepts die. Oh, the Adepts, oh, they got out. I guess I saw the shade. Alright.
Yeah, Adepts, as you were saying, like, that is the cost of keeping your Stalkers in your other mineral line ready to defend against the Oracles is, well, the Adepts are not really getting killed by anything. But hey, the Oracle gets out alive, and that's still going to be worth a lot to PtitDrogo. Throwing down a Stasis Ward, which did play a small part in game number 1, I believe, when PtitDrogo went for the carriers. The Stasis, I think 1 or 2 of the Stasis Swords did go off and kind of bought him a little bit more time.
So what do you think of these individual gold bases taken? Drogo goes for the pocket one, and Neeb goes a little bit farther out.
I'm trying to think about what Neeb is going to go for unit composition wise, like what his tech structures are indicating he wants to go for. I guess with Blink Stalkers, you're going to have a fairly mobile army, so I'm not entirely opposed to it. It makes it so that it's one of these awkward situations where if you want to kill off that gold, you have to directly go over there. You can't just do it, kill the other gold expansion on your way up to the natural. But PtitDrogo, the Voider is coming out from the Stargate. Another Stargate coming down? Does this build look familiar? Hey, Zombie Grub, did you say something about I could see him doing this again in Game 4? I'm pretty sure you said Game 4.
Yeah, I definitely said Game 4. Thanks for that. That's the exact number that I used. But it is, I don't know about it. Like, it could straight up, like, just blindside Neeb, who doesn't expect it again, but especially on a map like Prion. Or it could be scouted really easily with its observer, which is what's happening. And he now has a better time killing the third base. It's not nearly as well defended as Dust Towers, where everything is just one ramp. Oh, but Neeb's the one's getting attacked.
Yeah, but PtitDrogo is putting on a lot of aggression over here, and the Void Ray runs out of prismatic alignment. Immortals and Stalker's gonna have to back up, but Blink is finished up, and he does force this army back. Oh, Oracle getting a couple kills, but should get picked off by these Blink Stalkers.
Yep, does die. Okay, alright. So that was a surprising move by Drogo. There's no pylons to help out. Most of the army from Neeb was in another position, so that was kind of a lucky break, and that was good, but I'm still not entirely sure how he plans on getting to this mass air army without dying first, basically.
Well, thinking about the last game, and I think this is what may be a part of what the Forge is for, he threw down, quite frankly, just photon cannons. Photon cannons' front was a really big part of keeping Neeb from really feeling like he could easily push in. But this game is a bit different. This game, Neeb has Blink Stalkers. He's also getting up charge and everything, so that's going to be well and good for a big engagement, but Blink Stalkers can circumvent photon cannons. They can go straight into the main base and start putting on pressure and picking off stray Void Rays and being as annoying as possible.
I just saw Void Ray kill an observer. That was silly. But yes, you made all very good points. And it's kind of looking like what he wants to do here. Blink into the main base, force the Void Rays to be the only thing that's fighting. And I don't know if you want to take on 5 Void Rays, but I guess technically maybe you could, especially with Focus Fire. Yeah, I don't know. That was a risky gamble, and Neeb just decides to back off.
Yeah, I think that may be for the best. For now, he's going to try and take a similar approach to what he did in the last series, the last time he encountered this kind of carrier styles. We do have the carriers now starting. He's just going to start taking expansions a bit faster and try to outpower PtitDrogo. Oh, this is beautiful stasis.
Oh, nice.
This is what I'm talking about. Stasis, we're going to catch so many of these Stalkers, and here's the problem that Neeb faces, that he had a bank at the end of the last game. That was the most frustrating part. He had a huge mineral bank, but he was lacking a lot of gas, so I'm wondering if I would like to see Neeb try, if he's going to go for like this heavy Stalker-based army with Archons and everything, take expansions and just take the gas, guys. Don't even worry about saturating the minerals. Just take a lot of expansions. He had a huge mineral bank, though. You know what cost minerals? The Nexus and the assimilators.
Drogo did expand very slowly on Dust Towers, too. And that 4th base was easier to take, even in this one, and it's not so bad to take, really. He is getting up to those carriers, and Neeb really wants to hit him before he has to deal with, 3, 6, 9 carriers like on that Dust Towers game, but he is still scared of the pylon, still scared of that Void Ray counts. He does have an opportunity, though. He's technically up in supply. He's got an upgrade on his side, too. He's got those reinforcements from the Warp Prism. And he could break it, but it's always going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, he's going to be able to hit, even though there's now 2 carriers popping out, they don't have +1 air weapons just yet, which, again, adds 16 damage for each one of the carriers, effectively, because 8 interceptors, +2 damage per interceptor. He might be able to focus fire down one of the carriers. That's a really good pickup. Keeping the carriers from getting to a critical mass is so important, because that is how carriers operate. They hit a critical mass, and suddenly, they're really difficult to deal with.
That was a nice pickoff. Neeb just continuing to up that supply gap too, and his 4th base also a gold mining. Got a Warp Prism over here, gonna start harassing that 4th base. A bunch of cannons are about to finish though, so a little time.
Yeah. really like the decision to go for cannons. If you're gonna go for an immobile army with like carriers, then get cannons to deal with harassment because you don't want to have to move your carriers in every which direction to try and deal with it.
Oh, I like this. I mean, once again, this like little Sim City issue is happening with Drogo, and he just decides to kind of go around it, attack that 4th base, bring the army over here. I think he could take the army on. You think so too?
Archons are getting very close, or having the potential to get very close to the Void Rays as well as the carriers. Blink Stalker's blinking immediately on top of the Mothership Core, taking it out, and no longer has any energy to put an overcharge. Nexus is going to go down as well, and Neeb gonna be pretty happy with that. Even takes another base behind it.
I really wonder what the decision was to say, like, okay, it's pre-on terraces, or maybe he said, okay, it's game 4 and I got another game to kind of, you know, lose and I'll still be okay. To go for this carrier build is so risky.
Well,
Neeb,
do
you have any ideas?
I'm wondering if like the gold expansions played a huge part. I mean, I want to talk about this maybe in the after game because we may be seeing the end of the game over here as Neeb just has way too much stuff.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I'm starting to think GG gets called. Neeb gonna be tying up the series 2-2. Looking like he might come back from